Welcome back to the Irresistible You podcast. This is episode 192. It feels so good to be able to say that again. As you probably know, I took a bit of a hiatus over the summer. I had shared that in the summer, beginning of the summer, over on my Instagram, and it occurred to me that not everyone obviously follows me on Instagram that is a podcast listener. So in the future, if there's going to be a break in the podcast, I'm going to put a 30-second episode up as like a placeholder so that everyone knows that. So duly noted, thank you, and we will just get on into everything. So summer was good. It was busy. It was a lot of work stuff going on. At points in the summer, I was running like 6 different projects, and it was a lot. We had family come into town, which was so much fun. Kids had a blast. I tried to make the best of it where I could as far as getting outdoors, swimming more, riding bikes, and just trying to do, live in the moment, as you know, is one of my guiding principles. And I got really nostalgic this summer as it was coming to a close. It felt like one of the fastest summers ever. And I think part of that was, at least here in Virginia Beach, I don't know if you all experience this where you're at, but it was actually chilly a little bit of June. Like, it was kind of like, what's going on here? Like, May was chilly, and we are usually like opening up the oven doors here come April. Like, we'll get a couple days of spring, and then it's hot and humid, and it's like, oh my God, no, stop. So it felt like summer started late, and then there starts to be this shift, and I don't know if you've ever noticed this, and if you haven't, you really should like tune in and you'll start to notice these things. But so my birthday is over the summer, July 30th, I turned 42. What the F? Like, I don't feel 42. I cannot wrap my head around that number. I don't know when and if I'll ever understand or comprehend that 4. I had my prescription bag, they give you the bag with like your name and it has date of birth and it says female 42. And I'm like, who the fuck is that? Like, I cannot, okay? I cannot, I don't want to. I'm just going to live in the moment, embrace it, I suppose. And that's an episode for another day. Okay. So over the summer, what I was mentioning is that there starts to be a shift. And I always notice it right around my birthday weekend, because my birthday weekend is right at the end of July, rolling into August. It's hot as hell. Okay, y'all, it's hot as hell. But there's always this like little subtle shift in the air where it's still hot, but something feels different, right? Or I'll be swimming in the pool like into July, early August, and like, this one little leaf just decides to fall. And I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. We're coming to the end, and the season is coming, right? It's coming. The seasons are always going to change no matter what we have going on in our lives. And just felt really rushed this year. And a lot of it too is it annoys the crap out of me when I go in the stores and we're talking July 4th weekend and we're rocking back to school shit everywhere. Like, I'm going into Walmart, July 4th weekend, and I can't even find like beachy pool stuff, bathing, like everything is picked over. We have pushed all of the summer stuff into the corners, and then we're making way for back to school. I'm like, my God, my kid just got out of school. So like, I feel like as a society, there's like this rush. And yes, they have always put things out early, but I kid you not, it's getting earlier and earlier. There is absolutely no effing reason why Christmas shit is starting to like peek through the aisles. I mean, we were at Target last night with the kids, and like, they're obsessed with Halloween, which is so funny because they're born in October. And we're looking through the Halloween stuff, and they don't even have all of it out yet. It's still sitting in boxes, getting ready to be shelved. And there's freaking Christmas lights. And it's like, for the love of God, can we not? Like, And so it always feels like my life is being pushed. And when you go out into the world and you're seeing Christmas and Halloween and it's still, you're sweating and wearing shorts, there's just something not right about that. And between the summer starting late, it just felt like it was flying by. And I got really nostalgic and sad when that shift in the weather started to happen. And then towards the end of August, it got a little chilly with one of the hurricanes that was, passing through. And I mean, and when I say chilly, we're not talking cold, guys. It's just not like, you just don't feel like you're living in hell. And I think it's also like being a mom now with like school age kids and knowing that the end of summer means something more now, right? Like and it's like when we were all kids in school, right? Like the end of summer always symbolized this great time, this fun, like it's over and we're now moving to a new grade. And that's what it's been for me, like knowing this time is gone. I'm never going to get it back. My daughter is officially going to be a first grader and we're just going up from there. Javi's pushing preschool very, very soon. And just a reminder of how fast time goes and that if we fall into the societal bullshit retail world stuff, we can really get swept up and it's really annoying, honestly. And so for me, one of my like personal goals and missions right now is trying to figure this out. Like obviously we can't make time slow down. We all, time is like an equal currency for all of us, right? We only have the same amount of time. And it's just how we utilize that time. But I'm just really, and I don't have the answers today, but like trying to figure out how to make the most of time, how to make it feel like it's not rushing by. Like I hate saying, and I say it all the time, like, where did the time go? It's like, I need to figure that out. And I feel like the older I get, now that I have kids, it's rushing by, right? And so, here we are. It's, almost the middle of September. It's technically still summer, but let's be real, it's unofficially fall, y'all. It's unofficially fall. When September hits, when school starts for me, that's unofficial fall season, okay? And, it's a busy time for me. I'm actually really excited because starting this week, my daughter and I are going to a type 1 diabetic conference down in Orlando. We went last year, so it's kind of becoming a little tradition, mommy-daughter trip. And the beauty of it is that it's in Orlando. We love Disney World, like fanatically. And so it's just a great excuse to go to Disney for a few nights, go to the conference, and having her around other type 1 diabetic kids and seeing, adults with type 1 diabetes who have accomplished so many amazing things. Like it's life-changing. So I'm really looking forward to that. And once I get back, it'll basically be officially fall and, October's coming, and y'all that know me know October is crazy. All in good ways, all crazy good ways. But as the summer was going on and I'm just like reading things and whatever, and I forget where I came across this, but I saw this article or quote, I don't even know. And it's not a quote, it's a fact. And we're talking about flamingos. Yes. So we're going to spend the rest of the episode talking about flamingos. Okay. Come on, hear me out. Oh my gosh. Before I do that, I had one more thing I wanted to share, kind of like wrapping up summertime, because the last episode that I shared was the beginning of my weight loss injection journey and getting on semaglutide. I am still taking semaglutide. I am having success on semaglutide. And I don't want to get into the specifics on this episode. So I'm going to record an episode, like an update, what's been going on, how it's going, and I will share that very soon. Okay. So we'll talk about that. But just so you know, I'm still doing that. Things are going good. And I'm going to share all the ups and downs and ins and outs and things that you may want to know. And if you have specific questions, you can shoot those over to me on Instagram at Irresistible Icing. So, okay, back to flamingos. Okay. So I learned, I can't believe I didn't know this. Did you know that flamingos can lose or do lose their pink color because of parenthood? Yes. I was like, if that is not the best analogy or metaphor for human parenthood, I don't know what is. Because that is exactly how I've been feeling for the last, honestly, couple of years. Is that I've lost my pink, and I'm a very, very light shade of pink, and I'm trying to get back to the hot pink that I know I am. Okay. And so what happens is that when flamingos it starts in the breeding season and it continues into parenthood. And what's really, really interesting about this too is that it's not just the females, it's the males as well. So it's, parenthood, not just motherhood. And I think that's important too, because I think sometimes fatherhood gets swept under the rug, or people don't believe that, dads are stretched to capacity, anyway, anyhow. So, but they are. And so most of them. And so, when they are in the breeding season, when they're raising their young, it's so energy draining to provide food to them that they start to look almost they're back to like because when they're born they're gray, and then they turn pink as they start eating like the different shrimp and things like that. So they start to lose their color. So these flamingo moms and dads are raising babies, okay? They're raising these little flamingo chicks, and they themselves are literally drained of their beautiful, bright pink color. That is too real for me, okay? That is way too real, because first of all, you guys know I love pink, and I really feel like I lost my pink over the last couple of years. I lost my way in the world. I lost I haven't quite 100% found that pink again. And this was such a great way for me to explain that, I guess, or express myself in that way. And, it happens. And I think sometimes it doesn't even have to be motherhood that might be draining your pink. You might be going through seasons of life that are draining your pink because, you're stretched to capacity, or you're taking care of other people, or you're just in a really rough spot. And so for me, it's like, I know I've shared this in different ways and formats, but like my children are in a season that just requires a lot of me. They're both about to have birthdays. They're going to turn 7 and 3. So, time marches on, right? As they grow, they get more independent. Some of those challenges go away, and you get new challenges that sometimes are easier in some ways and sometimes not. But especially like for Javi being a toddler, like that's a challenging age, the 2-year-old, 3-year-old age. It's very rough. And he has come leaps and bounds even over the summer with just like his ability to make choices or understand consequences. And it's been wonderful seeing that happen, and it's only going to get better from there. And, Catalina being type 1 diabetic, that takes a lot of mental, emotional space. Some days more than others, right? But there's always a constant hypervigilance as a parent. And that's what I have really, really felt the last 3 years, is that hypervigilance. Honestly, since 2020, when this virus is released in the world, that's created the beginning of this extreme hypervigilance, and then being pregnant and, being separated from people and going through pregnancy, parts of it having to be completely alone it was just a whole thing. And then after Javi's born, I had an extreme postpartum emergency, a life-threatening emergency, and I had to be in the hospital alone. Thank you to the pandemic. And then as life started to almost feel manageable with a newborn, like getting in the groove, life was like, nah, girl, here, we're gonna give you some type 1 diabetes for your 4-year-old. So you got an 8-month-old and a 4-year-old now with type 1 diabetes figure it out, right? Like, it was a lot. So especially the last 2 years have really been a lot of learning, a lot of adjustments. First of all, when you have a baby, your world gets rocked, right? We all know that. When your child is diagnosed with a chronic condition as serious as type 1, your world gets rocked. And so I just feel over the last couple of years, rightfully so, I really have kind of lost myself a lot in motherhood and, with our schedules and it's just been a lot. And so I have known things that I need to do to get my pink back, right? And so one of those things for me that I know that I needed to do is I needed to get extra help, right? They say it takes a village. Girl, we all sitting on the porch waiting for the village and they're not showing up. So when they're not showing up, we hire the village, okay? And there is no shame in that. If you are financially able to do it, do it. Get the help. So having someone come and clean the house, like, girl, life-changing, right? Like, there's no better feeling than coming home and your home has been cleaned and you can just relax, right? And that frees up your time to do other things, right? And when I talk about time, it doesn't just free up like the physical time from 4 to 6, there be cleaning, like the mental, emotional space and energy that it takes. And let me tell you, I could never clean my house top to bottom in 2 hours. Like, it just wouldn't happen. I have too much like ADD going on. I start like looking at photo albums, or then my mind like, oh, look, squirrel. Oh, look, book. Oh, okay, let me work on this. Like, I could never do it in 2 hours. So if you can't get it all done, find help. Ask for help. Pay for help. Whatever that looks like for your personal situation, okay? One of the biggest like roadblocks for me that we have known for a very long time, and this has been one of the hardest things for me, is getting help with the kids. Having a babysitter or nanny or someone that I can rely on that can come and help out. So to give you context to that, Frank and I, my husband, I'm not excluding what I'm about to tell you from the past weekend. So since New Year's Eve, so we're talking December 31st, 2019 through September 2023. Do you know how many times we've been out alone on a date that wasn't a medical emergency? Twice. And one of those was New Year's Eve. So New Year's Eve and once last year. Like, if you would have told me that 4 years ago, I would have never believed you. I would have never in a million years believed I would be in that situation. And it's a combination of things. It's a combination of, the pandemic and the pregnancy and, then Catalina getting type 1 and like that's a whole, like, it's a combination of things. Okay. And so I've been working with my therapist because it's also been hard for me I know I want the help. I know I need the help. It's been very hard for me to open that up because, and I'm going to try to say this without getting emotional. When your child has a condition like type 1, it's not to be taken lightly. It literally can be a life or death situation. At a drop, like her blood sugar can drop and it can become a life or death situation. And so taking your baby and, here's how to do it. Here, bye-bye, I'll see you later. Like, it's really hard. And there's a lot of internal work that I've had to do to and I think not even just the internal work, I've had to really understand the condition myself and get really comfortable being a caretaker. I mean, one of my full-time jobs now is, I'm her pancreas, right? And so this has been something that's been really hard for me. But at the beginning of the year, I as you're making goals and you're manifesting and all of that, I had manifested that I would love to find someone that could help us out, that is either a nursing student in college or a doctor's, a medical student of some sort, or someone that has type 1 diabetes or has been a caretaker of someone with type 1 diabetes. Like that would be the ideal situation, right? And so through an organization in the T1 world, there's this master babysitting list that came out, and I paid for access, and they update it periodically as people get added. And when I first purchased the membership, there wasn't anybody in my area. Sad face, right? I'm like, okay. And there was an update about a month ago or so, I don't remember. And when I went to look, there was someone in our area. And long story short, we, got to know each other. She came over for the first time this past weekend, and I mean, absolutely amazing. Love her. She is such a good fit for us. And the best part, I haven't shared that, she's also type 1 diabetic, was diagnosed as a child, and she's in medical school. So I just, it's life-changing. And so Frank and I, this was kind of like a trial run. So we didn't really do like a full on, I didn't know if we were going to leave the house, honestly. I thought maybe we would just stay home while they were downstairs or whatever, but we decided it's probably better if we just slip out the door. I think the kids will do better anyway. And so it was very low-key, casual for us, but we were alone. And when I got in the car, it's like the amount of emotions that just wanted to come out of my body of I can't, this has been the hardest thing for us, right? Yes, we have left, my parents have watched her a couple times, for a little bit, but this is just opens up a new opportunity for us to actually be able to have a life again, to go on dates. We've just been so focused on our kids, and we both know that, and we talk about it all the time, that the one thing in our life that's missing is us, that connection, being able to go on a date or out to dinner or just, have fun again. And it's funny because when you're alone and the kids aren't in the picture and you're like, I actually still like you, right? Now, obviously I love you, but I actually still like your company and hanging out with you, and I forget how fun it is. And so it's just, talk about losing your pink and going through the motions the last couple years and just taking care of business and doing all the adulting and trying to have fun where you can. And this was a missing piece to our puzzle. And so we already have 2 more dates on the calendar, which is huge. I can't even express to you what it means. And the fact that I didn't have to explain anything about my daughter. Obviously I showed a couple things, where things are, the basic stuff. And we've talked, a lot about her diabetes, but I don't have to explain this. Her hypo pin is up here in this cabinet, and this is for use if she's unconscious and having a seizure. I don't have to explain that, right? Having someone that knows it, that lives it, that understands it, it's like gold, right? And we really like her. The kids got along with her so well. I really want this to work out long term, because it was an amazing experience for us. And I think this is just opened up a door. We have our calendar blocked for us to actually go out on our anniversary. I know, I don't remember the last time we did that. I know at least the last couple of years, at least since 2020 or 2019, and I want our kids to see that. I want our kids to see, and that was one of the reasons that really was starting pushing me too, is I want our kids to see that mommy and daddy prioritize their marriage, we prioritize time together, and we still date each other, and we make those things really important, right? And so this has just been such a relief and such a game changer, and something that is helping me to get my pink back, right? So it's like, I've shared with you guys before, and I'll share it again. I truly believe you've got to have stuff on the calendar to look forward to. And I had said this back in 2021 when we booked our huge family trip to Disney, right? Where like all four of us went, we met up with other family down there, and like having that on my calendar, or having any trip or vacation on my calendar, it like gives me more of a purpose, I guess, of like things to look forward to or goals to work towards. And I'm not just talking weight loss, right? You got to change that mindset, because I think a lot of times for us with chronic weight issues, when we have stuff on the calendar that's vacation based, it's like, oh shit, I better lose 20 pounds. I better lose 30 pounds. And that becomes like the marker of success. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like, especially if you're losing your pink and you're lost in parenthood or motherhood, it's like, okay, well, I know I have this date coming up and I want to look really good. I need to go get my hair done. Where honestly, I haven't been doing my hair. I wear my hair up every single day. I love doing my makeup. I hate doing my hair. I don't like my hair. I don't like doing it. I find it annoying. It's just really hard to style. So I end up putting it back a lot. But it's like, okay, knowing these things are coming up, you start taking better care of yourself in certain ways because you have this thing coming up, right? Or you have a Disney trip coming up, and maybe you start walking every day to get prepared for the marathon of miles that you're going to be walking. So my point being, when you have things on the calendar that you can look forward to, it helps you get your pink back. And you're not just getting your pink back because of the event or the vacation or the date. You're getting your pink back, like I said, in the things leading up to it. It makes me make better decisions. It makes me take better care of myself, right? And I'm not saying I've let myself go, not completely, but I definitely have lived more athleisure life the last couple years because it's just easier. And I haven't been going like out. So, you get what I'm saying, right? You understand. So like if you've lost your pink or you're losing your pink, number one, you've got to ask for help. And when I tell you how hard that is for me, it's one of the hardest things for me to do. Ask my therapist. I'm not good at it. I don't want to be seen as weak. And I logically know that asking for help actually makes you stronger. I know that, but it's just sometimes you don't want people to think, oh, she can't handle it. Oh, she needs a babysitter. Oh, she needs a housekeeper. She can't handle it. And it's like, no, I actually can't handle it all. Like, no, I can't manage it all, right? Like I am being pulled at both ends and I can't handle it all. Right? I'm stretched too thin. I need the help. And asking for help, again, go from your situation, like what is going to work for you or your family, whether you're asking for help and you have people that are willing to do it, or you have people that you have to pay to do it, just do it. And here's the other thing. Asking for help or getting help does not always look like people as well. Help comes in other forms. So what do I mean by that? Grocery delivery, right? I'm not about to walk through Walmart with my kids and do groceries. Are you crazy? Like, no. Yes, there are times we have to run to Walmart and we pick up a couple things, but I'm talking full-blown weekly groceries. I'm not about to do that with them. Like, just no. Just like, give me some glass to eat instead, okay? No, we're not doing that. It's a whole process. It takes hours. And again, I want you to realize the importance of your time is not just the physical time. Like I was at the store from 10 to 12 and putting all the shit away. It's the mental drain. And you know what I'm talking about. The mental drain from those experiences. Or the pins and needles anxiety of like, oh my God, let my kids behave. Oh my God, let my kids please don't act a fool. Please don't act a fool. Like the mental drain, you have to weigh that against everything else too, right? Because here's the thing. Could I find time to clean my house once a week? And when I say clean my house, you know what I'm saying. Like scrub the bathroom, scrub the kitchen, mop the floors, vacuum, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, we're cleaning up every day, putting things away, wiping stuff down as needed. But could I do it? Yes. Is it going to take me longer than 2 hours? Yes. Am I going to enjoy doing it? No. Is that going to take away from things that I could be doing for my own personal enjoyment or for my kids? Yes. Okay. So weigh those things. Okay. It's just like our yard. Like we have someone come and do our yard. We have all the tools. We have lawnmowers. We have edgers. My husband has all the things in the garage. Could he do it? Yes. Has he done it in the past? Obviously, yes. Once we're able to pay someone to do that, it's completely worth it to me because that time that it takes him, first of all, he'll probably be out there for an hour or longer. They're in and out of here under half an hour because they have a crew, right? And so that time that my husband would spend, it's not just the hour out in the yard. It's the having to go out there. Then you get all sweaty and gross. You've got to come inside the house and shower. So now you're talking about a 2-hour event. We only have so much quality time on the weekends because our schedules are opposite Monday through Thursday. That's taking away from our family time. So if we can afford it, we're going to do it. And that we don't have to think about it. They just show up at their designated time. I get the bill once a month and life is good. Okay. I wasn't always in this situation, guys, to be able to financially afford these things. And when I wrote a letter to myself, I think it was back in 2018, when I wrote what my life would look like, I'm like almost checked all the boxes on that one. Like it's been a long road. It's been a lot of ups and downs. It's been hard work, but like this has just made life so different. And so now knowing we have this time alone to look forward to, and as we all get more comfortable with one another, we can start maybe an overnight thing or out of town or whatever, like that possibility is there, right? It just opens up a new world. So schedule the fun things, right? Like you're asking for help, you're accepting the help, you're paying for the help, whatever that looks like, and you've got to put things on your calendar to look forward to. Even if it's like the nail shop or a massage or a haircut or, girl, do not underestimate the power of sitting alone in your car in the Target parking lot, drinking your Starbucks and listening to podcasts and watching YouTube. Like, what? That is one of my favorite things to do. And the other day I had a doctor's appointment and it was across the water. So we say across the water when you have to go through one of the tunnels. And when you have to go across the water, like it can take a long time because first of all, it's far. Second of all, if there's an accident or a breakdown, it's like double the time. It's a whole event to go across the water for anything like that. So anyway, I had an appointment in the morning and Frank is like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, I got out of my appointment and I got breakfast and I'm sitting in my car and I'm listening to podcasts. Like, life is good, right? Do not underestimate the power of sitting alone in your car listening to things. I mean, it's everything for me. So even if it's that, right? Like schedule fun things to look forward to. And you know what? Honestly, it goes back to what I said at the beginning, and I can't believe I didn't make that connection yet because I know this to be true because I've lived this, is that is actually one of the ways that you start to push back on that rush of time. That rush of time of you going, oh my God, where did the summer go? Where did the year go? Where did my life go? Like when you have things to look forward to, you're making the most of your time, right? So, or it's even like when you have girls' night scheduled, like we all know we get more dressed up probably for that than like going out to eat with our husband, right? So like, you're going to get dolled up. Now you got to go find an outfit, find some shoes. Like, you're doing stuff for you that makes you feel confident, that makes you feel good. You're having a reason to get your pink on, to get your glam on, because we're going to get our pink back, right? Like the flamingos, their pink comes back, right? As the babies grow, right? As the baby grows and the chick gains the ability to eat or feed himself, the parents, they get back to that beautiful hot pink that we all love to see, right? It comes back to them. And I think that is so, so true about parenthood, right? Is like, as our kids get older and more independent, you see your spouse, your husband, your wife, and you're like, oh, there you are. Because there's a couple of years that go by that I don't want to say you're like roommates, but it's like on the border of that, right? Where you're just trying to get shit done. You're taking care of little people. You're going to work. You're making coin. And you're just like, we need to find us again, right? So both of these flamingos over here are turning gray, and we're starting to go pink again. Our little flamingo family, our little chicks are getting more independent. And I get it too. Like, I have friends that are going through the empty nest right now. Like, because I had kids, I'm 42 with a 3 and a 7-year-old, do the math, and I have friends that are done. Like, their kids are in college and they're going through that empty nest stage where, new stage, new problem, new challenges, right? You're always going to worry about your kids. You're always going to miss them. And honestly, I feel like once they leave the nest, you lose a lot of control, right? You lose that control because you don't know what they're doing all the time. You don't control where they're going. And that, I imagine, has got to be extremely nerve-wracking and scary, and I don't want to think about it at all. One of my things this year too, I had told myself, like, we're getting our skin together, girl. We're in our 40s. We don't have time to play around, okay? Like, we don't have time for this. And my skin was looking rough. Like, and I mean, literally looking rough, right? It was looking a mess at the beginning of the year. And so one of my goals for myself too, and this is, going back to getting your pink back. And it's funny, like getting your pink back is like getting your glam on, which is one of my principles. So it's so funny how it's like interconnected. But I was like, we're going to get on a grown and sexy skincare routine. We're going to start like doing the Botox. We're going to start doing the things. And I have. So I got on a medical grade skincare routine, which has been amazing. I've gotten Botox this year, and then I got my lips. I got a little lippy injection for my birthday. That was my gift to myself. And you know what? I'm all for it. Whatever is going to make you feel good about yourself, it's going to make you feel better. It's going to make you feel pink again. Go do it. Go do it. Figure it out and go do it. Like, we only got one life to live. As we know, it's flying by. It's only going to fly by faster the older you get. I don't know why. That's just the way it is. And so whatever you want, you've got to figure it out. And also understand that sometimes it takes a while. Like, it's not like I woke up a month ago and was like, we really need to find a babysitter. Like, this has been something for me. I would like go on the different apps or the websites and start to create profiles and take them down. And then people would reply and I would ignore them. Like, it was just like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It was one of the hardest hurdles for me to overcome. And you know what? Sometimes God in the universe says, I'm going to put the right person in your path and it's going to all work out. And it's been worth the wait. It's definitely been worth the wait. So yeah, let's get our pink on. We got to become hot pink again, because we know under that gray, you're hot pink. You are. Yeah. So crazy, right? I've never felt more connected to a flamingo in my life. Like, this is like my new like spirit animal. It's just amazing to me. So yeah, like let's start taking better care of ourselves. And I will tell you, I'm going to do like a full episode, like I said, on the semaglutide injection journey and what's been going on and progress and all of that. But, that was an investment for me as well, to where in my time, energy, money, all of the things that, I shared with you how frustrated I was. It felt like nothing was working. No matter what I was doing, like the weight was just not, it was coming on and coming on and coming on. And it's like, what the hell? And so going back to taking care of yourself, like you got to do what's going to work for you, and do the internal work as well of like, I knew that I was drained. I knew that I was losing my pink. I just didn't have the words for that. I knew that, I was in survival mode for a long time, and like slowly but surely over the last year, trying to get back to my thriving mode and get my pink back and feel like myself again. And, just do those things. And yeah. So anyway, not sure what else to say about that, but I'm happy to be here. Look out for that episode. I'll have it up next week. Since I will be in Disney, it'll go up automatically. You'll have that episode, and stay tuned to my Instagram, because I'm going to be sharing, if you love Disney especially, I'll be sharing all the stories. I love going to Disney. I love going with my daughter because we can just rock and roll, the two of us, and we have a blast. So, and not only that, the conference and all the learning and networking and things that will happen as a result of that, and the things that we can take back and help others as well. And so I'll share with you something really exciting. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but Catalina has been wanting for a very long time, for a while. She wanted to write a book. She wanted to write a book about diabetes. And so the book is written. The words are finished. We're just working on the illustrations and the artwork. And I cannot wait to share it. Obviously it's not something for all of my listeners, but for some of you listening, it might be for you. And I think it's a good book for any child to understand, what it's like, and what it's like to go through it, what it's like to get diagnosed. And it's the way that it's being told is extremely cute. I don't want to give that away yet. But I will be sharing that with you all as we move through the process. So I'm super excited. I'm so proud of her. And yeah, lots to look forward to. And remember this, okay? It's mid-September. So we basically have all of September, October, November, and December. We have a little over 4 months, right? 4 months, give or take. That's a long time. So when it comes to your weight loss, your personal goals, your financial goals, whatever, I don't want you to lose steam, because I think a lot of times in September, it's like, well, school started, that really busy with that. And then we're going to roll, we rolling into Halloween, and then we're going to roll right into Thanksgiving, and then boom, it's the holidays. I'll just wait for the new year. Don't do that to yourself. Do not do that to yourself. Like, just don't. There's roughly like 15 weeks left in the year, if I did my math right. So let's just talk about weight loss for a second. Like if you were to lose a pound a week, that's 15 pounds. And think about the past version of yourself that easily gains 15 pounds because you use the holidays as an excuse. So you're either going to be 15 pounds down, 15 pounds over, or maybe you just stay where you're at, because that's success too. Okay. So think about that. The year is not over. We still have a lot of time left. You can still make changes. You can still accomplish goals. It's not over till it's over. Okay. And visualize for yourself now, New Year's Eve. How do you want to feel? How do you want to look? How do you do you really want to spend another New Year's Eve like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm still fat. I'll start over tomorrow. Like, you don't have to wait till then. You can start today. You can start tomorrow. You can start at the next meal. You got to find time to get your pink back. You got to get the help that you need. You've got to find ways, and understand that sometimes it doesn't happen quickly. right? Sometimes it's a process because you're in a season, right? Like I'm in a season of life with little kids that require a lot of energy from me, right? And I just have to accept that. And so as I've accepted that and acknowledged that of like, okay, right now, I really want to go to the gym. I really want to work out. But for right now, I'm going to be honest and say out loud, it's not a priority for me. I want it to be a priority. It should be a priority. But if I get caught up in that way of thinking, then I'm beating myself up, right? So if I think about Amy, you got 6 different client projects you're balancing: the podcast, the kids, the dog, the house, the husband, the life, the bills, all those things, those pieces of the pieces of the pizza that we talked about before. And now you want to go work out, which it would be really good for you. It would be really helpful, but am I going to make that a priority right now? Probably not. Probably not. So a great example, and then we'll wrap up here in a second, is like I can find myself beating myself up for not working out or not having that time. And then I have to accept, look at the season of life that you're in, right? So as I was preparing for this episode the other night, I was typing up notes and making an outline. And it was nighttime and it was so peaceful. The kids had gone to bed. Frank is at work. And it was one of those rare occasions where both kids are in bed before 9. Like, clutch your pearls. Don't clutch them too hard because here comes the rub. So I'm sitting there typing up notes. And what do I hear? I hear little footsteps coming down the stairs. So Catalina's had a nightmare. She's come downstairs to use the bathroom. Within an hour, Javi's crying. I'm like, there it is. This is it. This is why certain things just can't be a priority right now, right? Or where I tell myself, I'm going to wake up super early and I'm going to get this and get this done. And then I have those kind of evenings. And when the morning comes, I'm like, I'm tired. And it's not even that physical tired. It's the bone tired in your soul, your mental state. Like, you get it. You feel it. So that is just about it. So again, check us out on Instagram. I'm at Irresistible Icing. I will be sharing all of our conference and Disney things with me and Kat. It's going to be so much fun. I'm so looking forward to it. Stay tuned for the next episode. If you love the podcast, if this episode has helped you or any episode, please share it with someone that needs to hear it, and head over to your podcast player of choice and leave a rating and review. I will catch you guys in the next episode. Until then, stay irresistible. Bye, guys.